Hello, y'all. So we back to gonna talk about the Circle Atlanta Season 1, Episode 14. We done got some updates, so it looks like this is going to be a 17-episode season, a two-part reunion that Lester is promising that we're getting back to back. Honey, I guess Lester must have came across my doggone Chasing Atlanta video, because I said, honey, if this motherfucker didn't drop this doggone new video by the end of the doggone month, honey, I was going to do a whole video dedicated to cussing Lester out. Because it's like, now, bitch, it's one thing for you to doggone have us strung along, but it's like one thing DivaWuan's cannot stand is do not volunteer a lie. Don't tell me something, and then all of a sudden it don't come through. Which technically it still didn't come through, but it came through on the original time frame that it's supposed to be in. Because we supposed to be getting this shit bi-weekly. And this time we finally got the video. We got this episode within 2 weeks of the last one. Only problem is Lester Dargon promised that it was going to be weekly. On the, we were supposed to get this one last week. I'm going to give you a little bit of a pass. Because we got a good long hour some episode, and then it came within 2 weeks. Now, if we can get these other ones to come within 2 weeks as well, honey, no complaints from Diva over here. Although, I will just say this, coming into Dargon next season, child, we definitely need some extra people over there. And Lester, I done told you that you was going to come across this damn problem that you now having now. But we're going to hold off on the end. Because it's not just about the fact that the shit is 2 months between episodes and all this, that, and the third. You burnt out. You spreading yourself thin. You got these other shows that you're working on. We got Chasing Dallas. You got the panel talk, our View TV and everything. But now we got an accusation that you silencing people and that you darn gonna, doing favoritism. Which, once again, you would not have had that issue if you had multiple people. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's start off with Tevin, Jewel, and Eugene. Dante is on the deck talking and whatnot. Honey, Jewel still peep game with Dante flip-flopping ass. Honey, I don't blame her. Now this right here makes me darn gonna double down on what I said a couple weeks ago. Dante can go. Dante is now saying Melly tried to use him for a storyline. It's like, now, bitch, you is the one looking like you reaching for storylines and shit, to the point where we had to drag you on a whole nother show that you ain't even a part of. Now you over there trying to create drama and shit over there in Chasing Atlanta by way of just being in the motherfucking chat. Darn going, Rico done accidentally told somebody he was going to be part of this shit over there at Chasing Atlanta, and then somehow it got to you, and then you go snitching to the darn Dominique of all people on the motherfucking live stream. Like I said, Dante's old messy bitch for me, honey. But now he's darn gonna talk about darn gonna Melly B need him for a storyline. And once again, storyline for what? Storyline for what? Because who is you to really darn gonna be claiming as a damn prize at this damn point, child? It's like, now you said darn gonna Cash needed you for a storyline, which once again, obviously he don't know that Cash was still filming before him. I guess he think that Cash just came into the group and wasn't doing his own scenes. But now looking back at this, it's like, do you really think Cash needed you as a storyline and he darn gonna carry 6 episodes without even having to be within the group? He's over there on a whole nother show called Hot House. Cash got a legendary darn gone porn career. And once again, Dante, who is you to be claiming? It's like, honey, do I believe Melly B wanted to try to incorporate you as a part of a storyline in the beginning? I do see some merit. I will give you this. I do see some merit to that. Because, Melly, now I got to call you out, girl. You was on that bullshit with Dargon implying that Dargon Dante was yours in the beginning. And then Dante making comments throughout this whole... matter of fact, we just want to get Dante out the way within the first 10 minutes. Because I ain't going to really linger on Dante too much longer. Dante making comments about he used to drive your car and all this, that, and the third. I was like, oh. Y'all over there sleeping in the same beds and shit, but y'all claiming that y'all ain't did nothing. And now every time he mentioned talking about, well, I guess he got a new friend with Kate. I was like, oh, not that you mad that your exes allegedly are now together as friends. You mad because they now have a friendship outside of you. And you feel some type of way. They ain't even darn on a couple, but just because they just close pals, you feel some type of way because at one point they were both darn on romantically involved with you, and then they darn going got rid of you because really you ain't nothing but, I guess, a one night good lay in the hay or whatnot. And then, you know, body wise, I hate to even darn gonna pick on you for this, but it's like, I don't even know what they really seen that was worth arguing where they even entertained you even in the rendezvous sense. But you claiming that folks need you for a storyline so motherfucking bad. But we don't really see what you do. Cash De Niro is a legendary darn gone certified porn star. Not no regular run the mill. I'm talking about legit darn gone certified iconic porn star. Melly B is a corporate bitch. So on a financial level, you don't bring nowhere near what Melly B brings for him to darn gone. Because the thing is, I would think Melly B would practice in hypergamy. If he was going to go that route, he would darn gonna sleep up, not sleep all the way down. And I don't see Melly being no sugar mama, baby. Although, once again, I do got the question, why the hell you letting some folks ride your darn gone? Honey, you don't let darn gone one night darn gonna lay in the hay darn gonna ride your car and shit, honey. That's the only thing I got to give Melly the side eye on. But do I think Melly needed you as a storyline? You probably would have been a cute additive or whatnot. But as a soul-driven storyline, bitch, bye. Same thing for Cash De Niro. Cash, for whatever, Cash is just a whole-ish, playful, darn gone flirt in nature. So it's like, I think darn gone, Dante let that shit go to his head that darn gone Cash was flirting with her. It's like, honey, Cash flirt with any darn gone decent dick, honey. Don't think you some sort of damn prize. Because if I start running down the names of the folks that I've seen Cash be with, from darn gone Book to darn gone Giovanni, bitch, you do not compare to the likes of them, baby. So best believe, honey, darn gone Cash is not really darn gonna listen after you like that compared to all the scoped well men that honey Cash done been with, child. Honey, even some multiples at the same time, honey. Especially when this might be a sore spot for darn gone Cash, but there was that one scene with him and Fame. And like I said, for obvious reasons, we ain't going to touch on that one too tough. So we going to move on, honey. But okay. Moving on. But anyways, if you in Atlanta or you familiar with the Atlanta girls, But anyways, moving on. But yeah, Dante, girl, shut up. Next thing we got is Jewel, Alyssa, and Dante at the at the Lost and Found. And I apologize, a couple weeks ago I said the Boys and Girls Club, but it's the Lost and Found or whatnot. Dante ends up bringing mulatto stuff. We see a scene with them where she says, honey, she's over it. She needs a break from all these, quote, honey, this is her term, honey. She needs to turn that into a shirt, honey. These motherfuckers. Honey, she said, I'm sick of these motherfuckers. Child, with the way they carrying on, I don't blame you, mulatto. Darn gone, they stressing me out to the point where I'm getting my hair darn gone. Y'all know I'm starting to get stressed here. Like, goddamn, my hair is just growing in faster and faster. I can't wait till my laser hair appointment session on. So, yeah, right now, y'all, I'm giving bearded lady tease, honey. We just gonna know. I just had to address this elephant in the room because I know somebody gonna be like, but damn, Diva, I thought your pronouns were she, her, and hers, not darn gonna gender bend the clusterfuck, honey. Yeah. We still got this hair situation going on, y'all. Y'all go to my DivaWuan's video where I give updates on the transition. It's truly a transitioning process. But anyways, Mulatto said, honey, she darn going, don't want to deal with these motherfuckers no more. Honey, you go ahead and send the stuff. She had a good darn on nice variety amount of stuff and whatnot. And then somebody in the damn chat talking about, oh, well, the New York cast donated more and this, that, and the third. I was like, now, bitch, not that we darn gonna comparing shows and who donated more. Number one, if we're going to go off that logic, we got to think that the cost of living, number one, is more expensive in New York compared to the South of darn on Georgia. Number two, we got to think about financial brackets and, you know, the fact that what season are you referring to that the girls donated over there at the Circle New York, because the Circle New York is going on season 5. This shit is season 1. We don't know people's darn on financial backgrounds. It's about the darn on gift. It's the altruism that matters. It's not darn on who donated more. Like, what was the reason of comparing who donated what? Ooh, that comment hurt my nerves in that darn on chat talking about, you know, folks donated more. Well, bitch, what did you donate? What did you donate? Okay. But anyways, they donated and whatnots. They down them. Honey, I'm loving this darn on confessional look from Jewel, honey. It's giving all nice yellow up against the darn on lovely black skin, honey. You know, between red and yellow, those are my colors, honey. Red, yellows, golds, earth tones, honey. That darn on just makes darn on chocolate or, you know, deep brown skin just pop, honey. But anyways, yeah, we got that scene. They was not allowed to do any of the videos, so we just heard the Zoom calls of them talking to the children or whatnots. And that was basically that for the lost and found, honey. Then we get these damn Zoom calls. Y'all know DivaWuan's, this is what made me have to start writing these notes, because y'all was getting on me for being tuning out on the Zoom call. So I made a point to start notating shit. So we get darn going Martell, we finally see him after darn going a 2-episode hiatus. He's being filled in by Tevin of what went down at the darn going house, this, that, and the third with B-Hawk and Melly. Dante gets on the call. Girl, you so relevant, but bitch, you was annoyed for the first 2 minutes of darn. Honey, you popped up on that call and was paid dust for about 2 minutes, but you darn gonna lead and shit. Girl, bye. Ain't even nobody acknowledge your damn presence for the first 2 minutes on the fucking Zoom call. Talking about you darn gone, folks need you for storylines and shit. Honey, they kept that conversation going for a good 2-3 minutes before they even noticed Dante ass was on the phone, honey. But child, to his credit, he finally did run the story correct. He did mention everything accurately. Mulatto, girl, you did, even if this wasn't your intention, and I don't think it was Mulatto's intention. I believe that she was like, don't let him punk you out the house, you know, just pay it dust. I believe Mulatto was coming more so from that type of energy in regards to, like, you know, you stay on your side, she stay on her side or whatnot. I believe that's what Mulatto was trying to do. But it could easily, I can see how it could easily be perceived like, no, bitch, you was boosting his head up. You should have known what Melly B was giving. You darn gonna, he's already hot. Hell, your wife darn gonna peep game faster than you. Your wife was like, let him go. Your wife was darn gonna assisting Melly B with getting the darn gonna chain and shit taken off and whatnot. So it's like, honey, your wife knew what time it was. Mulatto, you should let him go on into the sunset, but you darn gonna talk about come on back in the house or whatnot. And I believe that your true intention was that you thought y'all could de-escalate that shit, but no. Now I can see where folks can think that Mulatto was trying to gaslight it, and I can see as well. But we got to take into consideration these girls don't know each other. They've only been together, believe it or not, out of all of these months that we've been reviewing this shit, these girls have only been together at this point for like 3 weeks at this point. 2 or 3 weeks. Because this shit started off at the end of January, and I want to say we're now towards the end of February. Although now it's confusing because next week's clips show so romantic Valentine's and stuff. And I want to say, based off of the timestamps and stuff, we already supposed to be past Valentine's Day. So yeah, Rico, Lester, can y'all give me a timestamp of what particular day of the month that this scene was filmed in? Because now I'm confused as fuck. Because I want to say that the Harlem Renaissance event was towards Valentine's Day. And then the weekend trip was like a few days after. So I know we still can't be within close to mid-February. I want to say we're supposed to be towards the end of February at this point in the game. But once again, Lester, Rico, anybody in the cast, Jamar, y'all fill me in on where we at in this time spectrum. But yeah, Mulatto, girl, you should have just let him go into sunset. Instead, she inadvertently darn gone did boost him up. That wasn't her intent, but that's what happened. Melly B went right on up in there, and then the rest is history, child. So Dante did tell the story darn gone accurate. He didn't really add nothing to it or whatnot, so okay. What else did we have? Dante. Oh, we done already touch on, because like I said, we wanted to get Dante out of the way. So I already touched on Dante jealous of Melly and Cash. So moving on to the next thing. I got 3 pages worth of notes, y'all. Hopefully we are able to zip through this within 40 minutes. Oh, he did ask a question about, what constitute as a real transgender. And as the transgender that's in the very early stages, let me go ahead and answer this question for you. As the bearded lady that I am, child. So as the darn bearded, darn flat-chested, 6'1", darn Sasquatch foot size having trans girl, should I be giving some leeway if I decide to darn threaten somebody, a man, and say I'm gonna whoop you? It's all no. Even if I had titties and everything else, it's like, now I don't agree with this. This the only thing I disagree with Jewel on is with this. It's like, now it's not like we can't keep framing this narrative as if Melly just went down the street and just attacked a trans woman for being trans. It's like, no, this is a bitch that she has history with. That your friend got to own up to this, Jewel. From what we see, your friend threatened Melly B with violence and then brought the parents into this. Now that's the fucked up part about it. It's like, now it's one thing for you to have issues with Melly, but now the moment that you threatening folks, family members and shit, it's like, now that it's no holds bar on that. So it's like, do I blame Melly for open up a can of whoop ass? No. And like I said, she is in the earth. Me and B Hawk is in the same position. The only difference is, she's blessed not to have to deal with all this hair situation like DivaWuan's. I don't know. She stays wearing some makeup. I don't know what's going on underneath. She might have already got the laser hair removed, but every time I see B Hawk, honey, she don't have to deal. I don't be seeing her deal with these stuff like I deal with it. But we both flat-chested. We're both pre-hormonal or whatnot. But see, this adds another nuance to B-Hawk, because B-Hawk ain't even fully into the trans community. She's tiptoed in. So it's like Melly B's comments that can be perceived as, inadvertently transphobic. Here comes the nuance to it, because it's like, well, technically, she's not even really trans, not from the fact that she's not on hormones or whatnot. It's because of the fact that she is dominantly non-binary, and she's flipping the script on the terms, because non-binary supposed to mean that you either embrace both of the darn identities. You are of the feminine and the masculine, or you are of the complete absence of not subscribing to the gender terms at all. Now you adding this darn film aspect onto the non-binary, and it's confusing the hell out of everybody, including people of the community. Because once again, non-binary will really be in the Q spectrum of the darn alphabet. I don't know why people keep trying to group non-binary into the trans. It's like, no, it's really 2 separate things. And this is where people get confused, because people already get confused on the term of transgenderism as it is. But then you try to lump in a whole different category underneath trans to introduce it into the darn masses. It's like, trans women, we got to already deal with enough struggle as it is. We don't need to darn deal with educating folks on somebody else darn shit. Now, as a part of the fact that we are all a part of this community, honey, we're going to be beside you and whatnot. But it does come off as leeching onto somebody else to try to get you in the door, as opposed to, no, we want to be right beside you, but you're pretty much non-binary is its own letter. So we need to establish that. And I believe that B Hawk is in this transitioning of, you know, tiptoeing into fully embracing the transgender that she is. I do believe she's trying to get into the steps of identifying as trans, but she's just not quite there yet. So she's under the term non-binary, which the appropriate pronouns for that is they, them. But once again, with her trying to add the dominant she, hers onto it, that suggests that she's trying to ease on in, but she's not fully there. So yeah, we got a multitude of things going on there. We got non-binary slowly transitioning on into the trans umbrella, but not quite there yet. Regardless, you can still get the motherfucking hands at the end of the day when you threaten somebody doggone unsolicited, unwarranted. Y'all both the same body, stature, size, or whatnot. So once again, I didn't see no problem. The only issue with Melly B is Melly B gave you the false perception that everything was cool at the beginning, and it's like if she was going to whoop your ass, she should have whooped your ass immediately from the door. Especially since I'm now finding out that, you know, she was informed. Because at first, I didn't know if they called. I was like, well, damn, ain't none of y'all motherfuckers called Melly B on the phone and was like, hey, darn, she's here or whatnot. Do we need to move some stuff around? Because, honey, we don't want you to fuck up this darn good house or whatnot. Or, you know, are you going to keep it cordial? That's what it should have been. I was wondering, like, did a phone call ensue? Dante did reveal that they did call Melly B up. Now, this is the other thing. Now, Melly B, girl, by the time you even got in that house, I don't know why you darn needed Melissa to help you with the change. See, bitch, you supposed to darn stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Girl, as soon as you came in that house, you should have commenced the whooping ass right then and there because you gave the bitch 24-hour notice not to even step foot up in the house. So by the time you came up in that house, fuck that darn I say hello to y'all in a minute, but first let me go ahead and get up the hill and whoop her ass. You should have been like that from the door. But the fact that you gave her the false perception that, oh, y'all was going to keep it cool, calm, collective, and then all of a sudden it does appear that you sneaked her. Because it's like, okay, you didn't do nothing when you came in the house. You done seen me several times. We didn't speak. Now I'm under the umbrella that, okay, we just want to keep it cordial. Then all of a sudden I'm upstairs, and out the blue you run up the stairs and darn going, now you want to fight. So yeah, it does come off like, oh, it is a huge switch. But once again, B Hawk is probably unaware of the fact that at this point, because she was upstairs with Jewel, she probably didn't have no idea that at that point Melly B done went out the door, was gone. And then they drug Melly B back in the house, not physically, but they darn going inadvertently hyped her to go back in the house, and then that would cause Melly B to darn going be, you know, go off. So everybody's in the wrong on this situation. Melly, darn going Cash, Mulatto, and B Hawk, you put yourself in the line of fire of being there. And darn going Jewel, you darn gonna allow your friend to even be in this shit. Now, I have to still give B Hawk a little bit of a pass because I have still yet to get confirmation from production or any of the cast that was B Hawk warned that darn going Melly was going to be there. Now, we could say that she probably should have known because it was a cast trip, but we don't know what Jewel told B Hawk. For all we know, Jewel could have possibly done told B Hawk that Melly might not have been there. So I don't know the full context of it. So it's like, everybody ultimately was in the wrong. I need some answers on this. Like, what was really said in the midst of all of this? Like, was B Hawk aware that she was coming into this type of situation? One can possibly say she should have known to a certain extent, but then, like I said, Melly B came in the house and it wasn't on site at that moment, so that's what made me have to ask so many questions. But moving on, though, moving on. So yeah, we got through the Zoom call. Tevin ends up jumping off the Zoom call. Then we get doggone Alyssa jumps on the Zoom call. She invites everybody to her cousin's. Well, no, I thought it was her cousin's, but later on I found out it was her brother's restaurant for Taco Tuesday. So now, shit, I'm using my phone Cause now I want to really doggone go in my phone and be like, okay, what Tuesday is it in the month that happened? So that would have doggone gave me at least an estimate of where we are at in this doggone timeline. Because are we still in early February at this point, or are we in late February? That's why I'm confused. But yeah, they supposed to go to Taco Tuesday. She invites everybody, and that includes Jewel and whatnot. She says she ain't going to be pettywop.com, even though I'm not invited to any of your events, bitch. I'm not going to be petty and darn gonna not invite you to mine. So, next thing we know, honey, this is where shit gets freaky. And so for a total of, I actually wrote down how long this scene was. I want to say this scene was about a half hour. It was from the 32-minute mark all the way up to the 57-minute mark. We get darn going this party, honey. Child, Megabody and Sinister. SYNST3R. You know the girls always got the darn on. They just can't spell shit darn on just regular. They got to be fancy and shit. So shout out to Sinister. Honey, we start off dressed in all black everything, honey. Darn on Megabody, darn on showcasing everything. Okay. So they discussing what's about to go down for the night, honey, as everybody starts to come in the darn gone dough. He did mention that Melly B wasn't invited. Cash was invited, and darn gone shit. This would have really been an interesting experience if Cash was there, because you know Cash has darn gone been on her whoredom all season, talking about her darn gone cootie cat. I was like, this bitch talk about her cootie cat more than Jocelyn Hernandez. Stitch my cootie cat. Honey, I was like, this bitch talk about her pussy, her cootie cat, and everything. Honey, girl, we know you one of the girls of the evening. We know you're a working girl. But, honey, this was darn on Cash night to low-key shine, honey. This is the one time that you supposed to really come through and darn gonna showcase the caramel cakes, and you didn't even come on through. I said, damn. A wasted opportunity. But once again, I understand, child. They darn gonna didn't invite your friend. You standing in solidarity. I can't blame you, child. Moving on. Then we get darn on Megabody. He changes into this darn on ensemble where it's like a football like cast thing going on, like with the angel rings, or like a one shoulder crossover with the white thong showcasing the cakes. And you know the esthetician in me was zooming in. I was like, okay, you know, they got that camera on a setting where it's just got darn on Megabody's ass is smooth, or he actually goes to the spa and get the butt facials and stuff done and whatnot, or he's very good at the exfoliation multiple. You know, usually the muscular dudes don't really be up on their darn on body care in the butt area, because you know the esthetician in me was like, well damn, he ain't got no damn discoloration. You know, especially being a Fitzpatrick number 5, I was like, you know, normally you would have a little bit of acne scarring in that area. You would have a little bit of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You would have some keratosis pilaris, aka, you know, KP, where you get the little bumps on the behind and whatnot. I was like, everything just nice and smooth back there. You know, I was more so infatuated with Megabody's ass from a skincare specialist perspective, as opposed to the lustfulness of it all. I mean, on the lustfulness, you know, it was all nice and right and tight. But me, from a medical esthetician point of view, I'm just nitpicking the fact that it ain't no cellulite, no keratosis pilaris. It's nothing but all muscle. Like, I wouldn't even be able to offer him a darn on body sculpting service, because everything is already darn on up and darn on firmed and everything. Darn on even. Child, I was low-key jealous of the darn on clarity. But anyways, moving on, child. Then we get the darn going talking about different fetishes and shit, and then this is where we got to insert the clip of the water sports. I was like, okay.
Or the bodily fluids, they like it everywhere. Sometimes they like it on their face, they like it in their mouths, they like it on their chest, sometimes they like it inside of them. It is what it is.
Oh my God. He likes it in his mouth. Great.
That's the closest to the water sport that y'all want to see me do, honey. DivaWuan's. Go ahead and give me some apple juice, bitch. I don't need it coming out the other end, but child. The girls were doggone showcasing everything, honey. The water sports and all of this. And then we get over to something, and I've seen this. This is a category, but I've never known the technical term for it. But it's hybristophilia. So hybristophilia is being attracted to danger. So, honey, they had the Glock and everything and pretended to be darn going, you know, hold up at gunpoint force. And I was like, ooh. Okay, this is getting somewhat, you know, into like rape culture, if you ask me. Yeah, it was giving me more so we're normalizing domestic violence like situations, and you know, the R word and all of that is okay. But yeah, they had the gunpoint, you know, everything and all of that. Meanwhile, Dante the whole time just mesmerized by Megabody's body. Like I said, he looks darn on well scoped and everything. Not necessarily my type of tea or whatnot. Nothing against Megabody. But y'all know as DivaWuan's gotten older, honey, DivaWuan's has, you know, transitioned. I'm a unique trans girl, honey. I'm one of the girls that actually prefer more so the more feminine aspect of it, and you know, Dante and them just don't do it for me. I mean, not Dante neither, but Megabody just don't really do it for me. But once again, honey, I wouldn't deny it, honey. Like if I did not know him by way of these reviews, and if the situation was right, he could still get it, but he wouldn't necessarily be DivaWuan's go-to, if that makes sense. But honey, he's darn on Dante's go-to, honey. He was just darn on smitten with darn on Megabody this whole night. And then next thing we know, we get a whole prayer circle before doing this darn on this foursome like maneuver right here. I was like, wait a minute, not that we're doing a whole prayer before getting into the freakiness of it all. I'm like, okay. So as y'all said, I was like, oh, they really darn child. Like I said, honey, if they had the darn queen of this type of shit, honey, that would have been the motherfucking tea. You had Eugene darn you know, almost sitting on Dante's face or whatnot, positioning a way where Eugene's face is towards the dick of Sinister, because Sinister was in a standing, you know, bending down situation. So it was like Eugene's face would have been towards Sinister's dick. Eugene's ass is towards Dante's face. And darn Sinister's face is towards Dante's dick. I was like, child. Now, can you imagine if you would have thrown darn Cash in the mix of that? Mr. Darn can do a DP. Darn Cash. Mr. Darn can darn do twirls and tricks on the dick. Darn Cash. Child, boo, that would have been an interesting scene right there, baby. But anyways, moving on, child. Then we get darn Megabody demonstrating the darn feet fetish or whatnot, rubbing the foot up against Sinister or whatnot. And then this what threw me. I was like, now, bitch, now Megabody, I need you to clarify this. Now, there is different types of foot fetishes, because DivaWuan's very much, I told y'all when Kendra mentioned that she has a foot fetish, I'm one of the foot fetish trans-loving girls, too. But, bitch, we don't love all types of feet. Talking about people who do foot fetishes. I was like, now, Megabody, that was a huge generalization, honey. You talking about they like big feet, women feet, darn crusty feet. I was like, now, girl, child, boo. Hell no. No. Hell no. Matter of fact, DivaWuan's, I might have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of my video that this is going to be some sensitive images in this darn video and whatnot. But these are the types of people that I go for right up and through here. I'm going to showcase a couple images from my Twitter that y'all don't know about, the adult Twitter, because I have my DivaWuan's Twitter and then I have my, you know, pornographic Twitter. And then, you know, of course, my Tumblr and all of that. Honey, these are the types of guys that I go for. You know, the Brandon Carsons of the world, all that. You know, I like very nice, sculpted, darn on, well polished. The esthetician to me likes a nice manicured, real sculpted foot, honey. We don't want no, and you know, we not no size queen, honey. We take big feet, small feet, whatever, but they got the darn gonna look cute. Honey, they can't be darn on size 17 and they look like Shaq. Hell no. And even if you have a small foot, honey, they can't be looking like a hobgoblin either. Moving on, child. No, but yeah, honey, the feet got to be well sculpted, darn on cut, precision manicured, and glossy and all that. Honey, we ain't darn on crusty, child. And then I was surprised Megabody said that being a darn on stripper and everything. Honey, you supposed to be the queen of it. Now, his darn on feet was well good for what he gives and whatnot. But I guess he was mentioning in general, but honey, where did you get them alternative facts from, honey? Don't be putting all that on us foot fetish girls, child. Boo. Crusty feet. Ooh. Moving on, child. Then we get darn going, oh, the whole time we had Tevin and this random lady darn acting like church queen. I'm like, girl, not that y'all darn go into this whole event and y'all knew that this was going to be on some freaky fetishes type shit and y'all acting all prudish and stuff about the situation. It's like, girl, y'all could have kept y'allselves at home. And then it was like, why was the other girl even there? I was with some of the folks in the chat and I was thinking, well, maybe there was like a multitude of people there. But it's like, no. You just got this one random girl there that didn't serve no purpose. Not to pick on her or anything, but it's like, if you was going to have extra people there beyond the cast, it should have been several people to the point where Tevin and Darngo and the other girl didn't stand out. It's like, well, we know why Tevin's there, but why was she there? So, yeah, that threw me for a loop as well. And then, you know, I got to think about it from the perspective of, well, hell, once again, she is looking like she's a cisgender woman. So, and then, of course, y'all can say, well, Jewel was there. I don't know if Mulatto was invited. But even with Mulatto, it's like we couldn't have had more women. So I was feeling like there should have been a segment for the women as well. Now, you know me, I'm strictly dickly over here. I was enjoying all of seeing of Megabody and Eugene and all of the theatrics. But thinking about it from the women's perspective that, you know, are of the lesbian experience or whatnot, it's like, well, hell, we couldn't have had a scene with Darngon Jewel. Hell, Jewel should have got her freaky ass over there and Darngon got Miss Darngon, Miss fur coat out of her shell, honey. She Darngon should have did one of these Darngon numbers to her like she was doing to the other girl up in the club or whatnot. We should have had some female on female simulations or whatnots going on down there that Darngon at the leather and lace event, honey. And then also some heterosexual, like, but then again, I guess since this is LGBT focused, you know, y'all got plenty of shows where y'all can see the straight shit. But, you know, even on the lesbian spectrum, it's like we should have seen some shit that catered more so to Jewel and them. Now, Jewel is really bisexual, and I think she made it known that she's bisexual. But, honey, we don't know what the random girl is, because it looked like she was not really... You know, she was clutching her pearls the whole time towards the gayness, honey. So, yeah, for future reference, Megabody, when you throw these events, honey, can you get some of your female strippers and shit to, you know, showcase some stuff for the lesbians and all of that, too? But because, like I said, old girl just looked like she was just so perturbed and stuff. And I was wondering, like, well, who the hell invited her to this shit? Why was she here? But anyways, moving on. Hopefully next year, girl, if you invite it back, they darn gonna have a lesbian, you know, swat for you. Or if they decide to bring in some heterosexual guys, you know, you can really get your life off of that, child. But anyways, moving on, honey, moving on. Then we get darn going, everybody starting to attend darn going to Alyssa's event or whatnots. And then I was like, come on through, JD Blackstone. Y'all know the porn connoisseur in me, my darn eyes lit up seeing darn JD, honey. Because, honey, we seen Miss JD in action as well. And matter of fact, child, see Cash. You doggone invited JD to the doggone party. Honey, doggone, see, this shit would have really been turned up. See, this was a really huge missed opportunity. Honey, if you would have had Cash and JD Blackstone at the motherfucking event, child, honey, that shit would have really been, that shit would have really been something, honey. JD Blackstone, Miss Big Booty with the doggone stars on the ass and everything else, and Mr. doggone Cash, the narrow. Child, that shit, honey, they would have turned that whole event out, honey. That would have been a whole kiki within his damn self, honey. But, you know, we get doggone JD in the professional sense, you know, dressed proper at the doggone table. Honey, JD, it was nice seeing your face again. I just seen you over there on my girl pal's Jasmine Divine's channel for the second interview or whatnot. So it's always nice seeing you doing, you know, out and about doing the interviews or whatnot. So, also, if y'all did not see that interview with Jasmine Divine, I will leave that link down below in the description box. But yeah, y'all, we get JD Blackstone on the scene. Then here we go with the separate shit. Honey, I'm with Eugene. This shit starting to become the two circles, honey. We got doggone the 180 doggone seats over here, and then we got this side over here. So, of course, everybody's feeling conflicted. Dante, she's already flip-flopping in spirit, but now her doggone loyalties are being tested because now she don't know where she needs to go. She needs to sit over here. She needs to sit over there. Julian already done called Jad on the low. So, you still swap. He ended up finally sitting over there on the side where Cash and them was at, but on the opposite end. And doggone Cash is like, girl, Lucius, is you gonna doggone find you a seat? Talking about, why you call me Lucius? Bitch, you know your name being called Lucius. Lucius, make up your mind and sit the fuck down somewhere. Girl, they know you're a flip-flopper. Just doggone choose the damn seat, hoe. Oh. Girl, I got to do it to you. I got to do it. Now, y'all, Mulatto, don't take this shit personally. But, you know, they drug doggone Jewel all season for her doggone wig being all the way back door. They called her, even tonight, they was calling the bitch Wicked Witch of the North and all of that. And I was like, okay, what's good for the gander is good for this gander too. It's like, now, girl, if they going to pick on your if they picked up on Jewel's wig slip moment, and then Jewel is mad, and what made this issue with y'all two was they said that they never seemed to doggone catch your shit on camera. And then at certain parts, she doggone told you that your shit was slipping and you was able to catch your shit, but you didn't do the same courtesy back to her, which I still think the shit is petty as fuck. It's like, all this over some cheap ass motherfucking $40 Elevated Styles wigs. And actually, I can't even say that this shit is Elevated Styles that you got on your head, girl. I'm like, girl, now what in the Party City was going on with that moon pie doggone 2000 doggone and one hairline? Like, girl, we are in the year 2022. Girl, why is you up on this screen with this? Why in the hell you got a whole moon pie hairline? I don't see not one motherfucking part. I don't see a pre-tweeze. And I really had to get on Mulatto's ass because you was on the after show, I believe. What was it? It was you, Melly B, and it was somebody else, because I was commenting on how fair that this doggone cast, because usually it was the after shows was somewhat biased. It was creating arguments and stuff, because I remember when there was Jewel, Tevin, and Cash, it created a dynamic where it was like it was not even out, and it would seem like it was always combative with the after shows. But it was you, Melly B, Melly B, and Megabody. Y'all three was on the after show, and you said, quote, that you was coming out with a line of hair and makeup products for us bitches, the suppliers bitches and shit with. And I was like, now girl, I hope this ain't part of the doggone products that you supposed to. Girl, if this is part of the shit that you supposed to be supplying us bitches with, girl, you can have this. Girl, you can keep this, honey. We don't want it. Oh, hell no. Now, girl, you know when you darn on in the beauty industry, you got to be your own walking advertisement. Just like we never catch darn on Portia slipping with her hair because she has the Go Naked hair, a brand of hers. Honey, we're going to hold you to the same standard. It don't matter that you down here on web series. Girl, we still going to hold you accountable just as if you was on regular syndicated television. Girl, this shit was a hot fucking mess. This shit was so terrible. And like I said, ain't no part. And then the thing is this. Elevated Styles and sites like that, they make synthetic wigs that actually have the pre-tweezed knots now. They have the dark lace for us brown skin girls, skin shine. Because you know sometimes the darn shit be just as white for the darn pale pasty bitches. But the shit supposed to be in a curl pattern for us. But they have that light lace that you got the tint and all of that shit. Girl, you didn't even have those issues. You had a whole moon pie issue that should have been avoided this day and age. There's too many darn synthetic wigs that you can get for $40-$50 that has the darn deep L part, the darn 4x6 parts and shit, as if you getting a high dollar closure, a high dollar frontal for the darn $40-$50. It's made with material fiber blend, so it don't look like that, you know, that cheap shiny plastic shit from Party City. It actually looks like human hair to the darn look. The average person who's not a beautician would not be able to clock it as a synthetic unit. Also, it can be curled up to 400 some degrees. So if you need to manipulate it a little bit with the modern day synthetic wigs, it's a lot that you can do with these new age wigs. But girl, it looked like you had somebody's wig from 2000. Girl, don't you come back on, just like I had to get on Jules' ass with that darn red hair that she can toss away. Girl, you can toss this shit away too. I don't need to see your ass no more with this damn wig. That wig was a hot ass mess. If it's a part of your collection that you supposed to be supplying the bitches with, honey, delete that shit from your collection, honey. We don't want no parts of it. I think it's safe to say I can speak on behalf of the entire darn beauty community. We don't want that, honey. Girl, step your hair game up, honey. And I was shocked with darn Mulatto because Mulatto's always usually serving it. I don't know what was going on this damn day. Honey, now granted, she said she didn't even want to be here. I don't want to be here. But damn, did your wig have to look like you didn't want to be here either? Did your wig have to look like you just done with life? Because like I said, honey, I think Mulatto was trolling with that hair. Because, honey, Mulatto, up until this point, her hair has always been, well, from what we've seen. Because Jewel was arguing and say, well, no, Diva, that bitch had them damn... I can hear Jewel now saying, that bitch had them wigs back then, but they ain't showed the motherfucking wigs to this point. Well, guess what, Jewel? They done finally showed the wig now. So you can finally hush by saying that they only caught you with the darn fucked up wig. Now that they done saw, now you seen Mulatto with this fucked up wig, honey, let's squash this shit. Y'all issue with the wig gate and who darn gonna look worse on camera? Bitch, y'all both looked a hot mess on this damn camera this season. Now this issue with both of y'all should officially be put to damn bed. I don't want to hear nothing else out of the both of y'all in regards to one looking better than the other. Because both of y'all now got some fucked up moments on this darn show. So DivaWuan's done gave y'all the professional advice of what y'all need to do to step y'all hair game up. Mulatto, girl, do away with that darn wig. Stick to the other ones. Jewel, go back to my previous episode where I give you the tips on how to properly do the blends and stuff for that type of hair color. You know, how to darn blend it in and do it in such a way where it will darn pop up on your skin or whatnot, instead of that shit that you got currently going on right there. But now, let's get out of beautician mode and get back to the show. Y'all know DivaWuan's had to rant real quick. I am a stickler for darn hair. I'm a stickler for darn color. Y'all know that shit stuck out to me. I had to darn give my 5-minute thoughts on that, child. But anyways, moving on, child. Moving on. We now on to the last page. We only got a half page left. So then we get to darn Tevin's friend coming. Now, you know, the 180 is coming in the door. You know, we get 4. That's his name. Cash says he recognized 4. I was like, ooh, child, I hope it's not from one of the darn scenes, honey. I was like, child, we don't need no more of them type of little triangle issues, child. Hopefully Cash didn't mean it like that time. I recognize Y'all know Atlanta's but so big and people know each other by a 6 degree of separation. Hopefully she just know her from the club as opposed to in the sheets, baby. Then we get Jewel. Now, Jewel, you talking about you was cool and you wasn't going to do this shit with arguing with a woman on camera, but you had to backpedal and pussy pop, as you say, because you said anybody that don't hold people who pushes transphobia is an enemy too. Now, Jewel, number one, we don't establish at this point we can't even really call B-Hawk trans, because even B-Hawk herself don't really use the term trans half the time. She darn gonna subscribes to the term non-binary, which is supposed to be they, them. Now y'all moving the goalposts with trying to darn going group in non-binary under trans, and I'm telling you, that's not what it's supposed to be. Non-binary is a whole section within itself. So it's like with all of y'all being confused on the matter, how the hell y'all supposed to expect anybody else to be doggone knowing what the shit is? And my thing is this: Mulatto did hold Melly B accountable, even though she low key doggone stirred the shit up anyways. So it wouldn't even got there if she would have let her learn, if she would have followed what her wife was doing and doggone let doggone Melly B go off into the motherfucking sunset. But instead, Mulatto was trying to talk about, come back in the house, and then that's where shit darn went left. But when shit went left, darn Mulatto did hold him accountable, was pissed off, and this, that, and the third. Now, do you want him to so you want Mulatto to go the extra mile and go on the cancellation train for somebody that she doesn't even know? As opposed to somebody that she does know that had a fucked up moment where she hold him accountable, but we saying that this is going to be the one thing that writes, Melly B permanently out, where nobody is not deserving of a second chance. Yeah, Jewel, I can't get with you on that one, honey. I can't get with you on that one. Like I said, y'all barely all know each other but a couple weeks. But honey, darn Mulatto only known B-Hawk for darn 2 seconds. She didn't owe darn B-Hawk no loyalty. That's your darn best friend that you darn know for a few years. That's not darn Mulatto's friend that she knows. So once again, she didn't owe darn B-Hawk no loyalty of canceling Melly B, somebody that she's already gotten to know. So yeah, Jewel, I don't get your logic on that one, baby. But anyways, moving on from that, then we get the timestamp with Jewel and Alyssa sit down. I'm only going to touch on this for like 3 minutes because this is such a complex situation that's touching on so many situations and nuances and stuff that I really need to do a separate video within itself. So when this episode comes out within the next 2 weeks, hopefully if Lester stays on track with this trajectory of releasing this shit bi-weekly, let's hope and pray on it, child. Jewel, conjure a darn punctuality spell to make sure Lester stays on time with this shit. But anyways, I'm just going to say this. We've seen 23 minutes condensed down into 9 minutes thus far. Where we're talking about light skin and once again, this is where we moving the goalposts again. Now, Alyssa, I understand your hurt, baby. But at this point of the game, now Jewel done made it abundantly clear. She done read the darn encyclopedia definition of what darn racism is. The problem is both of them are technically right. Even with even with Alyssa's definition of discrimination, that's the standard darn Oxford dictionary version of what racism is. Discriminate off of one's race. But when you go into what racism is in its full entirety, and when you darn gonna get the whole context of what racism is, which is systematic oppression, Jewel cannot be of that. As the most darn disrespected person in the darn America, the black woman, to quote Malcolm X, how is she darn ruling over you by doing something such as not inviting you to a party, and then you having a mitigated gall to compare that to a Klans meeting? Alyssa, you're out of order. Alyssa, I understand your hurt. What Jewel did was fucked up in several ways. But what we're not about to do is not compare you not being invited to a darn gone party to darn going. And see, this is the extremist shit that I don't get with the argument. It's like you comparing not being invited to a party to darn going a Klans meeting that's set up for targeting darn going black people and darn going hanging black people and shit. See, that's the extreme. Honey, darn going at the black events, they are not darn going coming up with meetings that darn going target and darn going attack white people. So it's like, now that those are two you're doing false equivalencies at this point, Alyssa. Now, we do also have to highlight that Jewel did admit that she could be perceived to be prejudiced. Now, is that any better? No, it's still fucked up. And I done gotten on Jewel about this. I done told her that she should have separate events than Cooper, because hell, you not even in your own how we got introduced to you, Jewel. You was talking about how white people should darn gonna be standing. They should be the first ones to toss themselves in front of us and stuff for laws, this, that, and the third. But it's like, how they supposed to darn going do that if you don't educate them on what they supposed to be doing? If you don't tell them what they doing, because there's so many different levels of racism. It's not just as simple as somebody calling somebody the N-word or chasing somebody down the street. It's like subtle shit that normal white people don't even think about day to day, such as the hair discrimination and the fact that we have to have laws and shit passed just to wear our natural hair in professional environments. It's like, it's so many of that's going on that white people don't even think about, that it's like, if they don't even know that that's an issue, because you're having these black affinity spaces where you're not incorporating white allies, it's like, how you expect for somebody to know that? So I've already gotten on Jewel that she should have events that also incorporate white and brown allies in regards to those situations. Also, one more thing, and then we're going to save the rest of this for the next episode. Let me define what light skin is, because also there's a cultural difference of what is being talked about here. Alyssa, you are not light skinned, my dear. You are what we would call a white indigenous Mexican. So your nationality, if you are born in America, you are American. You can be considered like Mexican American. You can be considered maybe like a first generation if your parents are directly from, the country of Mexico. Your culture background will be Latina. And then if we break down your race, you will more likely be dominantly European of Spain descent, because all white DNA that comes from anybody of Latino origin derives from the Iberian Peninsula. So you are still white. You're just a Spanish white. People don't realize that Spanish people can still be darn white. You're not Caucasian, but let's not act like that you're not white. That's where people get confused. You think just because you're not Caucasian that you can't be white, but there are plenty of different white darn groups. Darn Caucasian is not just the only white darn. You can be France, you can be French, you can be Italian, you can be German, you can be darn Jewish, you can be Mexican, and can darn still be white. Just because you speak a different language does not mean that your DNA is not white. You just come from a different land area than the typical European in America. Now that we done established that, that Alyssa at best might have 5% African DNA, you cannot call yourself a light-skinned black woman when you're talking about color arguments, because once again, Cash De Niro is what we would consider a light-skinned black person. He would be considered an Afro-Latino, because if he didn't tell you, hell, we wouldn't even know that, Cash is the unambiguous type of biracial, where it's like we wouldn't even darn gonna know Cash is darn going biracial if he didn't mention it. Same thing with Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan is biracial. She's darn going Italian and black. Who else? Shamar Moore is darn going black and white. Once again, but they're so deep in color. If they didn't tell you that they was biracial, Holly Berry is darn going biracial. She's half black, half white. Barack Obama's half black, well, actually, he's darn going Nigerian and white. Half black truly, because when you talk about mixing people who are already partially mixed with something else, they tend to lean more dominant white. But in Barack Obama's case, he's truly more black than he is white. But that's a whole conversation within itself. Yeah, Alyssa, why is you trying to bring colorism into this argument? It's like, honey, you can say xenophobia, you can say prejudice, but colorism, obviously darn gone Jewel is not colorist because she was friends with Cash. She didn't have any problem with them darn gone folks at that darn gone Harlem Renaissance event that was damn near the same complexion as you. Come to find out the folks were white, but I guess Jewel thought they was darn gone Mariah Carey or Ruth Negga, darn gone Zendaya. But really they was on they darn going what was the old girl that was the head of the NAACP? They was more so Rachel Dawson than anything. And once again, now, Jewel, we still got to hold you accountable to that. Like, girl, now you done been called out or your friend actually had the event open to all people. Honey, I want to see Alyssa darn going clock you for that at the reunion. Be like, well, bitch, why didn't you darn going to invite me after you realized that your friend had white folks and that the shit was opened up to everybody? Because this shit wasn't even your party. Now, Alyssa could have got you on that. But to say that you hate light-skinned people and try to co-opt that into non-black, it's like, no, light-skinned black is still black, dear. You just happen to not to be black. And yeah, she darn gonna misperceived you off of, you know, prejudging you based off your race, based off of your culture. And that does not make it right. And then she tried to minimize it because even Jewel somehow thinks Mexican is not white, but Mexican can still very much be white. But I guess since you're not the typical American white, she's going to let it slide. Like I said, so many darn on stuff we got to break down in this, you know, this next episode. But yeah, just a hot mess. Last but not least, Lester. Now, girl, this is why I told you that you was going to run into this issue being a one-woman show. A mishead mother, as you called yourself in my comment section, talking about you do all this, that, and the third. And Rico Cassadine came to your defense and said that you recorded this shit for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 30 days. And now you got to condense all this down into a timely manner. I give you your props, honey. You did that. The editing and stuff is there, but baby, next season, we're going to need at least 1 to 2 other darn on people finally up in that shit. I know you can find some college interns. I know that you ain't getting paid much over there, if not anything at all, honey. DivaWuan's sends her $5 here and there. I encourage people to do the same. But my thing is this. By next season, we need 2 other people because now you being accused of what I told you what was going to happen. I told you the way that you move, Lester, and your personality type, somebody is going to give the accusation that you are not editing them correctly, that you are silencing them. And then we see that Melly B did not have not one speaking part in this entire darn episode. And you telling me that Melly B, of all people, did not have nothing worthy of being put on film? I'm finding that very hard to believe, especially since a majority of the topics is still surrounding Melly B in this fight situation. Melly B was in the comment section talking about she had confessionals that she did specifically for this moment that did not get aired. She was talking at the darn on table that pertained to the discussion, but somehow her audio is not darn going coming through on the camera. So yeah, Lester, girl, you're 100% out of order for this. You're 100% out of order. And it's like, now this is why I said ultimately this falls back on you, because now it's starting to seem like you on some Shawnee O'Neal shit, that you throw the rock and darn shit popped off and now you darn hide your hands. You talking about you ain't nobody's parent, this, that, and third. But let me tell you something, Lester. As part of production, as part of somebody who is orchestrating the show, you do have some sort of moral responsibility to darn go and conduct yourself in a certain manner. You can't darn going now get on Mad Day and decide to darn going. Don't be Reese G and darn going be on fuck shit and decide, oh, now you want to start limiting somebody's scenes. Because, honey, we hold this show to a high standard. And we don't want you to be in the same umbrella as what they are saying that G Status was doing. And that's why the folks are now, you know, hyping up Dark, which, you know, Chasing Atlanta didn't need no hype because Chasing Atlanta is already that bitch. But now you got folks from other shows gotten to overpraise Chasing Atlanta because of the fuck shit that went on their previous shows. The Wheel of Fortune, as they call it. Girl, don't end up darn gonna being put in that same scenario because now on Mad Day, you want the darn gonna silence people's scenes and shit. Now, Lester, you out of order. You in my James Caldwell voice, you are out of order. Girl, get it together. Next week, we better darn gonna see some speaking scenes. And if you already edited the remaining, bitch, you better darn gonna go back again and darn gonna put some audio back in for darn gonna Melly B. Because if I see darn gonna next week that Melly B also don't speak, oh, I'm going to have to darn going to do a specific dragon session for you, Lester. And it ain't going to be pretty. So that is my darn going thoughts for this thus far. We got the season finale, and then we got a 2-episode reunion, which I guess is going to be a month from now if Lester stays on time with this. So it is April 25th. That means we should be getting the reunion around May 25th. Once again, the end of May, not darn gone June, July, August, but the end of May, Lester. So that is it, y'all. Feel free to like, comment, share. I do want to hear the timestamps of where we are. You know, y'all tell me around what date that this shit was going on and all of that. Lester, I want to know what was your thoughts behind this silencing darn gone Melly B, as he say. Melly B, I definitely want to hear some more insight from you. Hell, I want to hear some insight from everybody at this darn gone point about this shit. Oh, side note before we get out of here, this is going to be a little bit of personal note. Dante. Girl, I need to know, can somebody also tell me where Dante's shoes were from? You know, DivaWuan's, honey, I was loving them darn gone gold shoes. And then, you know, at this point, it's safe to say Dante don't watch my shit because I done told y'all Dante is the one bitch y'all can fire and not bring back. But then he surprised me a little bit because it's like, damn. When they did rap at the darn gone end of the darn gone party, darn gone his flow was sick. I was like, see, this is the shit that you should have been highlighting all along. You on this darn gone bullshit with darn gone talking about somebody want you, this, that, and the third, and it's hiding the talent that you have. Because quiet as it's kept, Eugene and Dante's flow, in my opinion, is the baddest flow on the darn gone out of the entire cast, out of everybody. And that's including even my favorite. Honey, I rocks with Rico. But I naturally would gravitate towards more of a Dante type of sound than a Rico sound. But it's like, once again, the person also, it's like you have the better darn gone sound, but you just so fucked up morally. It's like, just a whole waste of darn gone talent. But anyways, I do want to know where them shoes are from. So if anybody else from the cast can tell me where I can get darn gone Dante's shoes from, y'all tell me the timeline of all this shit that's going on. Is we finally going towards the month of March? And like I said, the whole Alyssa situation and Jewel, that'll be a separate video within itself. So look out for that video to be released. And matter of fact, we might do a live stream discussion on it. So tell me if y'all want to have more so a live conversation with that. Child, it wouldn't pay if I can get both of them on the camera. And y'all know DivaWuan's is not even the type to do interviews. But honey, I would actually love if I could get darn gone Jewel and Alyssa somehow on an interview. Now that would be darn gone one to darn gone talk about. So if we can actually, now Lester, if you ain't mad at me, because you know, girl, sometimes you get in your feelings when people hold you accountable and give you constructive criticism. Since you like to be doing these darn gone interviews and shit, honey, can you set up where I can be a host and we can have this colorism and racial conversation, and we can have darn on Alyssa and Jewel, and I can mediate. Now that'll be one that I would love to darn on mediate and break this shit down in further detail. But if not, you know, we'll be back here, you know, 2 weeks from now, and I do my live stream or premiere. Y'all tell me whether y'all want a live stream talk on it or a premiere. But that is it, y'all. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all soon with more videos. Mwah.